happy. All right, guys. The little dancing music we're always doing, little bobblehead thing.
I have to say that Vance Joseph getting fired bit is funnier every time I see it.
True. Very, very true. All right. Well, if you haven't been paying attention like we have, the Broncos beat Kansas City quite handedly. And we got our one game that got us into the playoffs. So we're in the playoffs for the first time since 2015. So
good to be back.
Hell yeah.
Good to
we're
be
short
back.
a member, but I'm hoping Todd will join us later when he can. So as I always do in the beginning, let's have your guys' thoughts. Quick little thoughts on the game, high-end stuff, because we'll get into the good, bad, and ugly later. So start with you, Gavin.
I mean, I couldn't have dialed it up any better. It was flawless. I mean, Bo was literally flawless until what, almost the third quarter or something like that, deep into the second quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we were playing against, a preseason team, and we should have beat them, and we did beat them exactly how we should have beat them. So, props to our guys. They treated it like a playoff game. They came out swinging, and the results spoke for themselves. Goose egg.
Yeah, I mean, I know many people went into this game kind of nervous, like, we're going to screw this up, and clearly we did not. We won. And it's not that we won, but we won confidently and decidedly. Yes, we were playing a lot of their backups. They still had the same head coach, still had the same defensive coach. A lot of the people who were playing on the field were people who, start games. It just wasn't all of them. So, yeah, they were diminished, but, we made them look like a diminished team, and that's, I think, important. So, plus, we already beat the Chiefs once, so, it's all good. I don't remember that field goal. That's all I'm saying.
Shit, man.
Just blinders, not caring. Nope. Well, I mean, like Gavin's point, towards the end, Bo didn't do as well. Yeah, because we took out his first string people, and they started putting in second and third stringers at the end, towards the end of the game. Of course, things are going to start to collapse at that point. And as I think it was Todd said, somebody said last week, the point of this game was to be at the point that we could put Stidham in the game for the rest of what happened? Stidham went in for the rest of the game.
So, he did. Huh.
Great to see him.
I wasn't aware of that, but we'll get to that.
Oh, yeah. We'll get, yeah.
The champagne was already
aware of it. What we saw on our phones, but we'll get into that a little bit later for the people that don't know what happened. All right, so we're going to go into our normal. We're going to do good, bad, and the ugly, like always. So, let's see. Steve, you go with your good.
I'm going to go with good being the number 152.4, which is the passer rating for Bo Nix, which is crazy. It is nearly a perfect game. There were all kinds of stats. I forget all of them now, but about that.
I got a lot of them. We'll talk about them later.
Good. Yeah. Just, yes, backups, blah, blah, blah. Played extremely well and confidently and can't feel bad about any of that. So that's my good.
Gavin?
Yeah. Probably Bo's best game. The Tampa game was pretty good, a few others, but this was, he was focused and dialed in, and he wasn't too big for the moment, and he did great. My good is the other half of that, which is Cortland Sutton. He needed 82 yards to get that fat bonus check. He got 98 yards on 5 catches, which is 20 yards a catch on average. And he got his $500,000 bonus for the year, and everybody was super happy. And those types of things are what bond a locker room together, Like same thing happened with Mike Evans in Tampa. I think he got 3 million or something, but everybody, was rallying and jumping on the sidelines and just happy for the players that they're getting this stuff. So that sort of positivity, the momentum is going to be really crucial to carry into the postseason. So that was kind of a bigger deal than maybe most of us thought. That's my good.
I agree. That was actually what I had as for my good, but I had a backup, and that's because I'm gonna show this, and I love this picture, and I just found it right before we went on the show, which is Air Marvin, Mr. Marvin
Nice.
Mims was voted into the NFLPA's All-Pro team this year, and he's going to be there with Pat Surtain. So players realize what he did, and I wrote these stats down. These are his stats for the year. So he has 39 receptions, 503 yards with 6 TDs. And then he was brought in as the punt returner. That's what he got voted in for. He has 26 punts with 408 yards. And I looked at it like he has an amazing punt return rate. He's done a lot with that position. And everybody, when they were talking about it, mentioned the Indy game, which is the game that all of us thought he was going to finally break through and get that touchdown on a punt return that he still hasn't gotten. So he's got something else to do. So yeah, there's a lot of other good. I mean, we could go for hours on what the good was during the game, but we are going to go to the next one, which is the bad. Steve?
Go. Oh, Steve.
Oh, okay.
Go, Gavin.
Oh, we switching it up. Okay. The bad, a little off, but Andy Reid. It was his first shutout in 12 seasons as chief head coach. And in his 26th career, only his 4th shutout, but the first as a chief. You gotta help but think that in the back of his mind, he's like, "Damn, I didn't want to lose that bad. Like, I didn't think we were that thin at depth."
Exactly.
The Broncos were just really good and hungrier than we were. I mean, clearly, but there's something there that's got to give them a little bit of pause and a little bit of discomfort going into this postseason. Maybe.
Yeah, because it literally showed like if Chris Jones is out, he gets injured in a game, they're not going to be able to stop like they did. Right. Or if a wide receiver gets injured and they're down to their second or their third, we showed teams how to take advantage of them during the playoffs because no one expected us to do what we did. They thought it was going to be a much closer game.
We showed the Bills how to take advantage of them during the regular season too, and they beat them right after we did.
Yeah.
Well, almost did. Yep. Should have. But yeah, I don't know. I keep calling him the paper tiger. Anything happen in the postseason, we'll see. They do crazy shit.
Yeah, they always get called out for being a paper tiger, and then they find a way to win. They just find a way to do it. Yeah. So, as we've said, it doesn't matter how you do it.
I got a tough road, either the Bills or the Ravens, most likely. I mean, obviously the Broncos. They don't want to face us. So,
no.
But
they're going to if we beat the Bills. So
if they go back to back, I mean, that's going to be impressive this year.
I know. Yep. So, Steve, you're bad?
That I'm going to try to be legitimately going for bad here. That we had to wait till the very last game of the season to get to the playoffs, because I feel like we had a lot of chances to get that one extra game we needed along the way. So it was annoying to have to wait till the end, but at least we did it in a comfortable, determined fashion. So it all worked out.
Trial by fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. My bad. I'm going to do it. We alluded to it in our opener. Was about the beginning of the fourth quarter. I go to the ladies' room, and all of a sudden I'm hearing the Chargers Raiders game over my head, and I'm like, "What is going on?" I come out, CBS, the local stations had switched over to the Raiders and Chargers game because it was closer at like 3, 4 points, something like that. And within 5 minutes, it was a 20 differential game. Like the Raiders raidered at that point, and so we're in the bar. We can't see the game. It's not on the game.
Yeah, we're trying.
Well, what was funny about it, yeah, it was hilarious. It's like, thanks to modern technology, it's like there was a bunch of phones out for a little while, and so like people are watching on their phones, and but the game was just like, let's make sure it's not out of hand. Okay, we're fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're kicking somebody's ass when they put the Raiders Chargers game on the TV as an upgrade.
Yeah.
A friend of mine who's in Atlanta is like, well, they just switched that game off. I was like, yeah, they did here too. Like, I think it was across the country. And they were like the bar was trying to find the game, and they tried to stream and it just didn't work.
I think, you know what we need to do if that ever happens again is just have like Heidi queued up at the bar and just play Heidi, because that's the thing, right?
The old 80s movie?
The Heidi game. There was a NFL game where like it was running late and they switched over to Heidi because it was scheduled to run.
Oh,
and like and it was like a big thing happened at the end of the game. Yeah.
That makes sense. Well, remember we used to plug in our old iPhones to the KOA broadcast, the pirate KOA broadcast, and at least broadcast the radio over until they figured out the TV signal at the Old Oak. But
yeah,
it was so far gone. I mean, if it was a close game and we needed to know, we probably would have done something like that. But
right, yeah, we were okay. You're looking at it. I mean, it wasn't nice when it switches over at 31-0, and we're like, wait a minute. But it is a friend of mine who was watching the game who was not a Chief or a Bronco fan. They're like, that was the most boring game ever.
Yeah.
There was nothing there. So, all right, we are going to go to our ugly. Steve?
So I think that it is a risky idea to continue to use a really good wide receiver to return punts. Most teams use a more back of the roster wide receiver, and so I think next season we definitely need to fix this clear oversight in our roster. Which is really good.
We did it for years with Wes Welker, with Eric Decker.
I suppose that's true.
DT was even
Eddie Royal. I mean,
well, Eddie Royal reminds me a lot of Mims. They have the same 19 number, but I'm like, man, Mims has almost reached Eddie Royal status. I think maybe exceeded it a little bit. We'll see next season.
Yeah, I think he's earned his way out of the position if they're concerned about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, but I want him to get that punt return.
Oh yeah,
punt return TD. Like, let him get it somewhere. Really.
I just want him to catch the ball. Whoever has the best hands should be returning.
And right now it's him.
Yes.
That's exactly the thing. So, I mean, it's kind of like Devin Hester. Remember when the Bears took the punt return away from him? He didn't do so well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I understand your point, Steve. I'm just not sure I completely 100%.
Honestly, I'm just trying to turn it ugly into a good. I won't get too much into it.
There's not much to find in this game.
Right. I'm like,
where is it? Gavin?
Yeah, I'll flip it to a little bit of ugly as an ugly good. That Vele triple bop catch that he had at the back of the end zone was Sports Center #1 worthy. I mean, it was fantastic. That was so great. What was that? Our second touchdown, maybe our third. And at that point, I think that was our second touchdown. And at that point, it was like, okay, I think the
kind of day this is going to be.
yeah. It set the tone for a little bit. It was like, God, finally falling on our side for once. So that was ugly good. Other than that, I can't think of anything on our side that was truly, truly ugly, honestly.
before I go to my ugly, which is more of a good also, did I find the picture? Oh, one of them didn't come up. All right, I'm going to do that later, but I'll do my ugly. My ugly is an ugly, as in how ugly good our defense was in that game. They had 5 sacks, 9 QB hits, and no points scored. Like, it would, like, everybody was talking about how this was Carson Wentz's game. He was going to show how good he was, and he was going to be the next Sam Darnold and all this stuff. And
He's had too
was
many
not.
chances in the
he
league.
sucked. Let's just
I
be
will
honest.
say we probably should have had 3 or 4 sacks, but he is at least a little hard to sack.
But yeah, I mean, our defense played lights out in that game, and so did. And the one thing we probably should have talked about in the good was that it looked like they finally got our rushing stuff going. We'll see if how that works out next week. But yep. So that was,
we ran well against Buffalo last year.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can keep it up. We have to keep it up.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go into the next one, which we're going to call this one overreaction versus reality. And our statement is Bo Nix is the offensive player of the year. Now,
offensively good.
Yeah, I did a whole matrix and everything, like between him and Jaden Daniels and everything, and I forgot to upload it. So sorry, guys.
Well, are we saying offensive rookie of the year or offensive player of the year?
Offensive rookie. It should be player. It should be rookie in there. So
okay.
I was
just checking
right
because I'm
now.
like that's a little. Oh,
yeah, that's a little much.
Right.
I will
more of a
admit
conversation.
that. Oh, I just took it away and just got rid of it.
We know what we're talking about.
Trying to do 3 things at once. I mean, here's my thing is I think it's either going to be Jaden Daniels or Brock Bowers is who's going to do it. Because like Jaden Daniels has broke the rookie record for rushing yards. He's number 1 overall as a rookie now. He has a number of TDs. Brock Bowers set the new rookie record for receptions by a tight end. Now, all that being said, I think there's a point to be made for why Bo needs to be seriously in the discussion. And so I will hand it off to you guys. Do you think it's an overreaction or a reality?
I want to start with the idea that okay, let me ask you this. What is the job of a quarterback? What is the job of
to win games?
Well, yes. But how do
lead
they
the team
win
to win games?
They perhaps throw the ball. And if
Yeah.
you're getting in as rookie of the year because you ran the ball, you're actually a running back. That's a different job. So on that point, I would say no. I think honestly, like Daniel's got the early vibes because he got off to a faster start. He did more running. That certainly helped him look better early on as he's learning the game. I think he's very good. I think either one of them would be reasonable choices as rookie of the year. I, of course, prefer Bo Nix, but I'm not going to feel bad if he doesn't get.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at it. His overall yards. He's 12th out of all quarterbacks. So he's the number 1 rookie quarterback when it comes to total yards and touchdowns and those kinds of stats. But I agree with you. I think he takes a hit because we had some losses in the beginning and we had the last 2 losses. I think if we won those games, it'd be a very different conversation.
Sure. Well, and also, are we having this conversation right now or a few weeks from now when we're in the Super Bowl? So that's a different conversation too.
Right.
when he'll be the first rookie to ever reach the Super Bowl. I don't think a
Win the
QB
Super Bowl, right?
I don't think a rookie QB's even made the Super Bowl.
I don't think so.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I thought Bo was in serious running up until that Eagles game at the Commanders and that comeback. I don't know if you guys saw that,
Yeah,
but
I saw that.
after
Mhm.
that, I was just like, okay, like JD rookie of the year, no question. The guy is phenomenal, and what he did and the comeback that he had. I mean,
And
what
what
we
he's
did.
done with that team too.
Yes, I mean they had the second pick. A lot of people think that he should have been the number one overall above Caleb
Yeah.
Williams, and he's kind of proven everybody right now.
Mhm.
Because I don't know if the Commanders roster wise is honestly that much different or better than the Bears. It might even be worse, but better coaching. He's got Kingsbury there for his offensive coach, who's probably going to be gone this year. He's already been interviewing, but I don't know. I don't want to turn this into a JD fest, but that would kind of convinced me. And then we lost the next two. If we had won, let's just say one of those games, and then the Cincinnati one, we actually did come back and win that based on that. If we go for two and both scores, I think it's a bit of a more serious conversation to be had and clutch play and like feeling and all that. But JD kind of ran away with it at the end. But I wouldn't be surprised if Bo was second or third, honestly, this year. He's done way better than we all expected. Like, way better.
I looked through a lot of it. Like through week 14, he was down around 10th or 12th in terms of and this was list for all the rookies, offensive and defensive. It was more like an overall rookie thing. Now it's Jaden Bowers, Bo on almost all of them with Malik Neighbors and Brian Thompson, right, rounding it out at the bottom. So I thought that was kind of interesting because you look at all of the rookies and it's just the two quarterback rookies that are on winning teams. Everybody else is on losing teams and stuff. So
Right.
Brock Bowers has done quite a bit at his
Yeah.
time with the Raiders. And yes, my soul is shriveling up into a black little ball, just trying to sitting here giving a prop to a Raider. But
hey, we
It's
wanted
not
him.
helping them by
I mean,
turning into a black ball. No, that's a Raiders color. What are we doing?
If somebody took Bo, he was going to be a Bronco.
He would have been a Bronco.
So.
If the Raiders don't fix what's going on there, he's gone as soon as he hits free agency. He's out of there.
Yeah,
I would not want to play for that team.
That's in what, like 4 years, 3 years, something like that? I mean, he's on that rookie deal, so he's got at least 4.
Well, they'll bring in Belichick, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I think I have a theory that if they actually draft Shedeur Sanders, the Raiders, and they get Shiloh, Dion has publicly said that the only way he'll play in the NFL is if he can play with his boys. Plural. Yeah. And it's shot in the dark because I don't think Shedeur is going to be around for the Raiders, but they really want him bad. And who knows? They might try to lure Dion away from CU and play with his son. And then, then that would suck.
Is he a good coach?
I don't know. Not really, but he's a good recruiter. He's a better recruiter than he is a head coach.
College coach.
And everybody wants to play.
He understands the NFL. He knows how to be in the NFL and play those positions. So those are his pluses. Yeah.
And it would just be.
It'll all depend on whether or not.
Actually, I will amend this.
Tom Brady tells Mark.
Yeah,
what?
It's very Raiders move. That's why I see it.
Very Raiders move. So
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. They go for the glitz and glam. They're in Vegas now. It's like, I don't know.
It still's crazy that everybody's like, oh, Belichick can break his contract with North Carolina for $10 million. That's not a big deal. NFL owners throw it on $10 million, no problem.
To the broke ass Mark Davis, it is.
Like, I'm just sitting there. I'm like, and then like I just don't see it happening. What I do see happening though is I do think Tom Brady is not going to be an analyst after this year.
Apparently, he's got his toes in way too much of the Raiders
For
stuff.
a minority owner,
Yeah.
he is doing like
He's like
in
de facto
my
GM, basically.
in my opinion, it's to the point where the NFL probably should be stepping in and saying, you only own 10%. You can't make decisions unless they bring you in as a consultant. But we know that's not going to happen because the NFL wants Tom Brady to be able to do whatever bleep
Oh,
he
yeah.
wants.
Oh, yeah. Hey, let him waste his money. Fine
Well,
by me.
yeah.
If he wants to
Yep.
throw it away with that garbage organization, so be it.
Go right ahead.
Yeah.
All right. So next, we're going to talk about defensive player of the year. Hold on. I'm trying to get my. Why is. There we go. Okay. Defensive player of the year. So earlier we talked about Nick Bonito. And I do seriously think that Nick is up there in the conversation. He has like 13.5 sacks, but I don't know if you guys knew this. Do you know how many sacks Brandon Jones has for the entire year?
No.
115.
Wait, what?
He leads the team for sacks.
Wait, no, that's not possible. What do you mean?
I pulled it right off the Denver Broncos website. He leads the team in 115 sacks.
It's like 8 sacks a game or 10 sacks a game. That's
I'm
not
sorry. Tackles. I'm sorry.
Thank you. I'm like, that is, I mean, awesome, but I think we would have heard about it.
Tackles.
Why is this even
Oh
a
my
conversation?
God.
Why are we
Yeah.
even having this conversation if he's got
No, he would be
150
number one.
sacks?
Yeah, that makes much more sense. Yes.
Yeah. So, sorry out there, everyone. I had sacks and tackles right next to each other. I read the wrong one. Oops. I do think Benito is, but honestly, I think Surtain could take it from him. And
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
money would be on Surtain without question. I think Benito has had a very good season. I think that he deserves that award, but I think that Surtain has been on another level. He's been the best cornerback in the league by a long shot. Quarterbacks are better off throwing the ball into the ground. Like, come on.
yeah. Okay, so I found some stats online for Surtain.
Yeah.
So these are all the things that he ranks first in, like fewest yards allowed, fewest, all that stuff. But I gotta see if I can find it. Like I read that they did an analysis like of the top AFC player catchers, wide receivers like Chase and Judy and all these guys. He just has shut those guys down. They have like 0 yards, 1 TD, like 96 defended passes against them. And like it jumps up against everybody else. It jumps up to like 155 passes that they've gotten away with and like 6 TDs and everything. I mean, it's hard with a shutdown corner to show how good they are because they don't get the interceptions. They don't get the yards that people look at so much, but he's just phenomenal. Thank God we resigned him to a new contract.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
4
So in
years.
my opinion, I think Surtain should get it, but man, Benito was making a very good argument throughout this year. So a lot of people are saying TJ Watt or Myles Garrett. I can't argue Myles Garrett because Myles Garrett is really good. But TJ Watt is going to be out for the playoff game.
Yeah.
He came back for one game and he's injured again.
Yeah,
So
he had 0 sacks. He had a game with 0 sacks just 2 games ago or 3 games ago.
and
I
he was
forget
out for like 2 or 3
when he
games
got
too.
injured. Yeah, and maybe he
Yeah.
was injured. That's why. But he was in the running, and all of a sudden it's like, oh no, what's happening here? So if you're going to get Defensive Player of the Year, in my view, you got to be healthy the whole year. Like you can't play.
And
12
Yeah.
games or 13 games and be considered, like if you're up
Right.
against people who played the whole season, like that's
Yeah.
gonna,
That's my thing with defensive player of the year is it needs to be somebody who impacts the game significantly, which I do think Myles Garrett impacts the game a lot for the Browns. They wouldn't be as close as they've been over the last 2 years without him playing that position. I mean, Max Crosby's another one who impacts the game, and there's a lot of them that are in that in there, but Surtain affects that game so much. And I think he's also helped this time by X Moss on the other side once he got healthy again. Having those two together, it's it changes the game. So we saw it happen for 2 games that we lost. Not having Moss in those games was that secondary was not the same without him in there. So
yeah,
that's could be with that.
Higgins kind of ate his lunch on the Cincinnati game, but that was his first game back, so hopefully,
Right. Yeah,
hopefully he kind of had an easy one with the Chiefs, and now hopefully he's back on track now.
He's back on track. Okay, well then the last one we're gonna do, or the last section I have, is we're gonna talk about. And I'm taking that one off. Keys to the Buffalo and Denver playoff game. So what I did is I went through and I kind of wrote some up, and we'll kind of go through them and more like a round table type of thing. So first we're going to do the pros for us. And one of the big ones that I keep reading over and over and over again is that Buffalo's run defense is not that good. So that is a key we need to exploit. And I think we've been showing with our run the past couple of games, like they're trying, but it's a weakness of ours. And I think that needs to be said too. So what do you guys think?
Yeah.
Gavin?
Yeah. Ground and pound. I mean, that's how we beat them last year. We beat them on the ground, and then we contained Josh Allen just enough to win by 2 points. What was it 24-22? And and even Josh Allen was saying that today. He's like, look, last time we played these guys, they beat us. So, they're a tough team. Like, we can't take anything sitting down. So they're going to be prepared. We're going to be prepared. Problem is, though, we got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
We're playing on house money right now. That makes us dangerous.
That was one of my cons is us having to contain Josh Allen. It goes together. They kind
there's
of
no
go.
containing. There's no.
You got to keep them between the middle, and we just Burrow is another one that was pretty mobile, and we showed some flashes, but we also showed some problems. So containing Josh Allen is
yeah. I mean, I think on that point, it's like, well, let me talk the run game first. So I think that Estime could have a big game. Like he's being used sporadically. I think my hope is that some of the rationale for that was he's a rookie, he's still getting used to the NFL and saving a little bit of what he's got for this time of year when that kind of football makes a lot of sense. So we shall see.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
My pro is like you said, Gavin, like we got nothing to lose. There's nothing for the defense to lose or anything. I think they're going to bring everything out and they're going to try and create opportunities to hawk the ball, to intercept the ball. And we need I think if we can get an interception or two, it could change things drastically.
We're going to have to. We're going to have to.
Yeah.
And Josh Allen's typically an interception machine, but this season he's been really on point. His interceptions have been like half or like gone way down from what they were last couple of years. So he's getting more focused. I think Sean, as far as – sorry, Steve, go.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, as far as game plan goes, Sean, Sean's got to take all the training wheels or whatever he can. He wouldn't say that he has, but even he's any game plan that he had to preserve Bo at this point, just let him play. Just let him get out there and just start winging the ball and just letting him do what he loves to do. Because to your point too, we got nothing to lose. Everything's gravy, and if we do a conservative game plan, I think it's going to bite us in the ass. Like, we don't need to be dumb with things, but we need to let Bo air it out and see what he can do.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a hot take here. I don't think the Bills are that good. I know their record is good. I know they have won many games. The defenses that they have played on average are average. They have played. Granted, they played the Chiefs, they played the Lions, so they have played good teams.
Beat the
when
Chiefs.
they have, well, they beat the Chiefs.
Only team.
So the top defenses they faced were the Lions, the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Texans, and the Colts. They lost to the Ravens and the Texans. So those are two good defenses. So I think it's like nothing about the Bills other than their quarterback stands out to me as like exceptional. Their offense lost some weapons this year. Nobody's really got the kind of name. They're sort of elite talent, right? And so it's like, that can work. And I think, to some extent, we've made that work this season because Sutton was our only real notable number one. But I don't think they're as tough to beat as we've been led to believe.
When you talk about it, if you look it down and you compare our teams, two good mobile quarterbacks, really good pass defenses I'll go into the pass defense for the Bills. And then their wide receiving core is not full of like the weapons like the Bears had with Caleb. So there's a lot of similarities between our teams. So I think the difference that has hurt us is we're a younger team than they are. So there's been situations and that didn't work. The one thing that I read everywhere, and we have to remember this, is they do have a really good passing defense. Because remember who's sitting as an edge rusher for them right now? Mr. 58, Von Miller. Now, he's not Super Bowl 50 Von Miller anymore, but he's still really good.
Yeah, he's been doing well lately. So, I do not want to face Von Miller in the playoffs. That is not on my to-do list. But I think you game plan for him. You do some chips with our cadre of elite tight ends. Okay, never mind that.
Where do you start?
Just throw a tight end and say break your leg. Just stop him.
You move the pocket around a bit. You strategize. I think it's something that it has to be managed. I expect that he'll get a sack because he's that good. But I think we can handle it.
Gavin?
Yeah, Vaughn's been fanning over the Broncos the last day or so. He had a press conference recently. He was he's still
we're in his head.
He's still a Bronco at heart. I love it so much. Like, he'll always be a Bronco. Like, he'll retire a Bronco. I'm almost certain of it.
I want to give him a one-day contract just so he'll retire as a Bronco.
You have to, right? You have to. Like, he's orange through and through. Like, love the guy.
Yeah. So the stat that I was reading, so here's the flip side to their pass defense. So what I was reading is that they're really good at disguising their packages on passing. So they're like one of the best ones at it. However, Mr. Bo Nix has an 8% scramble rate against disguised defenses, and that puts him as number 4 in the league in that stat.
Interesting.
So it kind of goes to what you were saying about with Bo. He can't. You may not want to play it safe with him. You're gonna want to not I know everybody's like, well, pound the ball, pound the ball, pound the ball, pound the ball. That's how you can beat them. But we still have to play against our defense. So let the boy air it out. I mean,
Yep.
let him go.
Yep.
Like, I'd rather go down in flames of glory.
Yeah. Hell yeah. No doubt.
Let's
Leave it
just
out
like,
on the field.
we're playing with house money. Nobody expected us to be here. No one thought we
Nobody.
would even do half the shit we did this year. So
Nobody.
let's go for it.
Yep. We should have gone
So,
for it. Should have gone
yeah,
for it. The Cincy
yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah. But I think that's also, I think I'll be the first one to admit that I'm not a huge Sean Payton fan. Yep, and go for two, Gavin. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that conversation last week. And Sean was like, "What was that about?" And I explained it to him, and he's like, "Oh, okay, I got it." So, like, yeah, go for it. Try. Do whatever we gotta do. I'd rather lose 28 to nothing than lose by, like, a blocked field goal again.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think
I'm going to disagree with that, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
I mean, I'm just ecstatic we made it in. So
Oh yeah.
I guess I'm also trying to keep my expectations low so I don't have a complete meltdown if we lose.
Yeah. I have zero expectations. Like I'm fully on like if we
Let's go.
yeah, it's gonna be a miracle if we win this game, honestly. And then,
Yeah.
like it depends.
We're
If
gonna
we kick
win.
their ass, then it's like, oh, okay, maybe we'll have something. If we win by a field goal, it'll be like, okay, we're getting waxed in the second. In the
Like
second.
I'm definitely in this mindset of I think we are actually going to win this game, but if we don't, it'll be like, well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. I mean, our path to the Super Bowl goes through Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes, realistically.
I just want to
And then
okay.
whoever's on the receiving end.
So
Like,
I want to say my main goal is that we beat the Chiefs. However,
yes.
I'm going to put it out there that we've already beaten the Chiefs.
Oh,
I was having this thought that
we did the
the
league a favor.
Chiefs rested their people for a long time. Then they play, and then the one game that they played right against us where they put in all the backups, we beat the crap out of them. And like, yeah, you're going to go in and be like, well, we were just playing our rookies. But like that locker room, the vibes are all off, right? You just get your ass handed to you.
Mhm.
And, and yeah, fine, Mahomes maybe gets a speech or whatever, but like, I think that, that's just going to.
His and Kelsey's face on the sidelines during that game.
I'm sure
They
they're
weren't
not happy.
happy at
No.
all.
And so I feel like they're going to come out, after all this rest and they're going to be flat. They're going to have this just sort of sitting out there festering. And you're welcome, NFL. Happy to help.
Your lips to God's ears, please.
What are they going to have? Like 26 days off or almost 30 days
It was
off?
24 was
24?
the number.
Yeah. Like that's
That's a lot.
That's a long time in the NFL, man.
To not play an actual game.
Yeah.
So,
like that's a nice like overseas vacation and then some.
I mean, I know they're practicing, but practicing is not the same. And those second and third stringers are getting the shit kicked out of them over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm sure they had some skin stripped off that day by Andy Reid because they didn't play well. They just did not play well, and it showed. It showed some problems. So
yeah, like even their starters who played didn't play well. So
yeah. Like their defense didn't look like their defense with Jones not being in on the line anymore. It was flat. And
I love seeing the Chiefs' third string quarterback. When they brought him in, it was like, yes.
Who is their third string quarterback?
No idea. Some rookie they picked up, or I think he's a rookie this year or was last year.
Is that it's not Sam Bradford, right?
No, he's a new kid. He's young.
I thought that's what his
He was
name
just in
was.
college last year or this year.
Oh, and how about Butker missing the field
Yes.
goal?
Oh, God, I hate that guy.
Oh,
Preserve the shutout. What a beautiful thing.
I didn't realize it was him
Yep.
when it was kicked, but when I read that letter later, I'm not gonna lie, I cackled for a long time.
Hopefully
yeah.
that
So
gives them the yips
I'm
going
just
into
sad.
the playoffs.
I'm just sad I didn't think of that as my ugly, because that would have been very good as an ugly.
yeah, that would have been a good ugly.
Very good.
That would be a good ugly. Hold on, I'm trying to see who the QBs are.
So am I.
I actually need to get going here. So if we
Yep,
can
we're gonna be signing off soon.
land the plane.
And let's see. Well, according to their depth chart, they don't have one.
Yeah, it's not even listed on their official. Samaje
All right,
is
well,
anyway.
yeah. Okay, so as we're going to be leading off, I'm going to say I found this picture also on the Broncos website, and I just thought it was a lot of showed. I think it kind of shows like camaraderie that's happening with our wide receiver core, and it has every person we've talked about in the show on it, and I thought it was a fun little thing. So as we say goodbye, everybody say hello to a nice little Broncos win, and I hope we get to see this again next weekend.
Oh yeah. Can we wear those jerseys again next week, please?
That would be nice. I was actually just
the exact
Googling,
same thing I wore.
Yeah, I was Googling to figure out what uniforms we were wearing, and I do not have the answer yet, but
oh, are we trying to figure out if we're white, blue, orange?
Yeah, but
well,
hope it's not white. I only have one white Broncos jersey in my closet, and I can't wear Von Miller to this game. So
no, I don't have
it's not supposed to snow.
Yeah. So with everyone, like we talked about last week, this week, again, we will be at Almost Home, and hopefully we can have twice as many people as we had there this weekend.
Yeah. Get there early if you want to get in, because it might be a little crazy.
Yeah. Game is at
when do the Bears play this week?
No.
Oh, poor bastards.
Game is at noon, remember. So we're not going to have a 3 p.m. kickoff like we normally do. So get there early, because I think seats will go fast. So
Brunch versus Buffalo.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for coming on. That was Mile High Minute with Go for Two Gavin and Steve the Believer. And I don't think any one of us that are a Bronco fan are no longer a believer. I think we know what we have. And on to the playoffs.
Leave your Von Miller jerseys at home this week, people.
Yes. No 58s anywhere.
No 58s.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.